held the hourglass to the light, watched the world slip grain by grain at night. Every second that I tried to keep fell too quietly into sleep. The glass was full of everything we knew, until time decided we were through. And all I have inside my head is the last grain of sand. It doesn't fall, it doesn't stay, just trembles in what used to be a day. It's the last grain of sand I can't release, a fragile piece of our deceased peace. Every moment that we used to plan fits inside this trembling span. The world keeps turning where I stand, but nothing answers when I demand. Only silence understands the last grain of sand. I shake the glass, but nothing moves, like time has forgotten how to prove. The past is sealed in crystal thin, with all we were locked within. I see your face in fractured light, fading at the edge of night. And every memory I expand breaks against this final sand. It's not enough to make a tide, but it's enough to hurt inside. It's the last grain of sand I can't release, a final breath of broken peace. Every future I had planned slips through this trembling hand. The hours bend, the world feels planned around this final shifting strand. And I am lost where time began, with the last grain of sand. Maybe time was never mine, just borrowed light in fragile line. Maybe endings always land inside a grain of sand. I tried to stop it, tried to stay, but moments always drift away. And everything I understand fits in the last grain of sand. It's the last grain of sand alone, a memory I can't condone. No future left to understand, only this trembling hand. The glass grows dark, the sky feels bland, like everything was badly grand. And I am left where endings stand, with the last grain of sand. It doesn't fall, it doesn't go, it simply waits to let me know that everything I tried to hold was just one grain of gold and cold sand. There's a dirt road winding through the fields, past the barns and broken wheels. It stretches farther than the eye can see, like a question with no certainty. The grass leans close on either side, as if it knows what I try to hide. And every stone beneath my feet remembers every old retreat. The sun hangs low, the shadows grow, and there's nowhere left to go. I'm walking through the loneliness of a dirt road, carrying a heart that's far too heavy for its load. Every mile feels longer than the last, every step gets tangled in the past. The wind keeps whispering your name, but nothing here remains the same. And all the love I used to know is lost within the loneliness of a dirt road. The fence posts stand like weary guards, protecting fields of silent scars. The crows circle beneath the sky like forgotten prayers that learn to die. A distant farmhouse fades from sight, its windows dark against the night. And somewhere beyond the rolling land are dreams that slipped right through my hand. The stars appear one by one like memories I can't outrun. I'm walking through the loneliness of a dirt road, carrying a heart that's far too heavy for its load. Every mile feels longer than the last, every step gets tangled in the past. The wind keeps whispering your name, but nothing here remains the same. And all the love I used to know is lost within the loneliness of a dirt road. Maybe roads get lonely too, waiting for travelers who never come through. Maybe they ache beneath the rain, holding tire tracks like old pain. I've spent so many years this way, watching pieces of myself decay, following a path that seems to bend without ever reaching an end. I'm walking through the loneliness of a dirt road, beneath a sky that's carrying its own sorrow. The moonlight spills across the dust, covering everything with rust. The night grows deep, the cold wind blows, but still this endless pathway goes. And though tomorrow waits unknown, tonight I'm not entirely alone. Because this road and I both know the loneliness of a dirt road. The darkness settles soft and slow across the fields and rows below, and somewhere where the lost hearts go lives the loneliness of a dirt road. The hallway light is flickering low, like it knows what I already know. Your footsteps fade down empty halls where nothing answers when it calls. The air is heavy, sharp and thin, like something breaking deep within. And every second feels too long before I hear what's coming wrong. I stood there still, I didn't move, afraid of what the silence proved. Then came the sound of the door finally locking, a quiet end that kept on knocking. No thunder, no dramatic fall, just the absence of it all. It wasn't loud, but it still broke me down, like the world itself had turned around. And I was left where love stopped talking, at the sound of the door finally locking. The frame still shakes from what it heard, though nothing now is said or stirred. The handle cool beneath my hand, like it no longer understands. I thought I'd hear you turn once more, come back through that closing door. But hope is just a fragile sound that disappears when truth is found. Even endings take their time to finish crossing every line. A final truth that kept on shocking. No final words, no last embrace, just empty air I can't replace. The house grows quiet, deep and wide, like something living just inside. And I am standing where love stopped talking, at the sound of the door finally locking. Maybe goodbye is never spoken, just something slightly bent and broken. Maybe leaving isn't run or flight, but something silent in the night. I replay it in my mind, that final click I left behind. And every echo keeps on haunting, the sound of the door finally locking. It's the sound of the door finally locking, where every memory keeps on knocking. No return, no turning back, just the hollow in the track. The world moves on, but I am stuck in the moment. Everything stopped roasting, and all I am is still unlocking. The sound of the door finally locking. The hallway darkens, breath grows thin, and nothing lets the silence in. Just me, the night, and something haunting. The sound of the door finally locking. The signal fades across the night, a trembling pulse of dying light. The voice that used to fill the air is gone, but something lingers there. The radio hums in empty tone, like it forgot it's all alone. And every word that once made sense turns into broken consequence. I wait for something to return, but even silence starts to burn. It's the static after the broadcast, where all the meaning slips too fast. No final message, no goodbye, just noise pretending it can cry. The frequency won't settle down, it drifts like ghosts that won't be found. And I am left where signals passed, in the static after the broadcast. The dial turns, but nothing stays, just fragments of forgotten days. A half-heard laugh, a fading plea, lost in electrical debris. The speaker crackles low and thin, like it's unsure where it has been. And I keep listening for your tone, but all I hear is all alone. Even echoes lose their shape when no one's left to demonstrate. It's the static after the broadcast, a hollow truth I can't outlast. No signal strong enough to guide, just noise where meaning used to hide. The air is full of what was said, but nothing living in instead. And I am caught where voices passed, in the static after the broadcast. Maybe every word we send is doomed to break before the end. Maybe connection is just noise that learns to imitate a voice. I thought I heard you one more time, between the crackle and the line. I even hope gets overcast, in the static after the broadcast. It's the static after the broadcast, where every memory moves too fast. A signal lost, a story torn, a language no one speaks anymore. The air remembers what we cast, but never lets it truly last. And I am left where finals passed, in the static after the broadcast. Trio hums then fades away, like everything we couldn't say. And all that's left, faint and vast, the static after the broadcast. There's an old fence at at the edge of town, leaning where the fields slope down. Its boards are cracked, its paint is gone, yet somehow it keeps holding on. The twilight settles cold and slow across the weeds that used to grow. And every evening, without fail, the wind returns to tell its tale. It sings of places far away, and everything that couldn't stay. It's the wind howling through a fence, like a heart that lost its sense. Every hollow crack and seam echoes with a broken dream. The night keeps listening in suspense to the sorrow hidden in its vents. And I hear my own loneliness in the wind howling through a fence. The farm beyond has long been sold, its windows dark, its stories old. The porch swing hangs without a sound, watching shadows cross the ground. I walk that road from time to time, following memories I can't find. And every gust that brushes past feels like a voice from the past. Some ghosts don't need a face or name, they live inside familiar pain. It's the wind howling through a fence, like a heart that lost its sense. Every hollow crack and seam echoes with a broken dream. The night keeps listening in suspense to the sorrow hidden in its vents. And I hear my own loneliness in the wind howling through a fence. Maybe fences know what it means to divide what was from what has been, standing between loss and grace, never quite belonging to either place. And maybe the wind returns each year to mourn the things that disappeared, to search among the weathered wood for all the chances that never could. It's the wind howling through a fence, carrying fragments of existence. The stars above seem far away, like promises that couldn't stay. The darkness stretches vast and dense, wrapping around every consequence. And my soul finds its reflection in the wind howling through a fence. The moon climbs over the empty land, silvering the broken strands. And long after the night begins, the lonely song still rides the wind, a mournful sound without an end. The wind howling through a fence. The light no longer calls my name, it passes through me just the same. I stand where I used to belong, but even my outline feels wrong. The mirror doesn't look my way, it forgets me more each day. And footsteps fade before they land, like I was never made of sand. I tried to stay, I tried to hold, but something in me grew too cold. I'm turning into shadow, where even light refuses to follow. No shape, no weight, no place to be, just a fading part of me. The world moves on without a sound while I dissolve into the ground, and everything I used to know turns me into a shadow. The walls don't echo when I speak. They've learned to ignore what I seek. The air forgets to feel my breath, like I've been practicing for death. I walk through rooms I've never left, of presence slowly being bereft, and every hour chips away at who I was yesterday. Even memories grow thin when you don't know where you begin. I'm turning into a shadow, a silhouette that time will swallow. No voice remains, no hands to reach, just silence I cannot breach. The sun looks past me when it's low, like I'm already letting go, and all I am begins to show as I turn into a shadow. Maybe fading is a way to leave without the need to stay. Maybe loss is just a slow unlearning of the self we know. I tried to fight it, tried to stand, but nothing answers when I demand, and even pain begins to go as I turn into a shadow. I'm turning into a shadow, where even sorrow won't follow. The edges blur, the colors drain, until there's nothing left to claim. No beginning, no afterglow, just a place I used to know, and I am gone while still below, turning into a shadow. The light moves on, the world stays wide, and I am somewhere lost inside, not gone, not here, not high, not low. Just turning into a shadow. The shoreline breathes in broken foam, like it's trying to forget your tone. I carved your name in trembling sand, just to lose it where I stand. The ocean came without a word, like a secret never heard, and piece by piece it pulled away the lines I thought would always stay. I should have known what tides would do to anything I held on to you. Now I'm watching the tide erase your name, stroked by in a quiet kind of pain. Every wave comes back the same, taking pieces of what remains. The sea don't care what hearts defend, it always wins in the end. And I stand where we used to be, watching the tide erase you from me. The gulls keep circling overhead like thoughts I never quite said. The wind drags salt into my eyes, blurring truth with goodbyes. I trace the outline one last time, but the shore won't make it night. It slips away without a fighting to the fading light. Even stone forgets its shape when the water learns escape. Now I'm watching the tide erase your name like a memory refusing to remain. Every wave comes back in shame, but still it takes what it came to claim. The ocean doesn't ask what's real, it only knows what it can steal. And I'm left with nothing to reclaim, watching the tide erase your name. Maybe love was just a mark drawn too briefly in the dark. Maybe we were always meant to dissolve where we were sent. I tried to hold the shoreline still, but water bends against its will, and all that's left of what we knew is a ghost inside the blue. Now I'm watching the tide erase your name, and I no longer fight the flame. Every wave comes back the same, softly whispering your name. The sea has learned what I cannot change, that nothing here stays unchanged. And I stand where the endings came, watching the tide erase your name. The water pulls the last line free, leaving only memories somewhere beneath the endless rain. The tide forgets your name. We started with a handful of stones, small misunderstandings left alone, a word unsaid, a door half closed, a silence neither of us chose. We stacked them carefully over time, calling it patience, calling it fine, never noticing what we had done until the daylight couldn't come. We thought we were building shelter then, but we were building distance in the end. We built a wall instead, brick by brick, with the things we never said. Every fear and every doubt found a place and settled down. I thought we were protecting our hearts, but we only pulled them apart. And when I look at what remains, I see the wall instead. stood on one side, I stood on the other, close enough to hear, too far to discover. Your voice became a muffled sound, lost before it reached the ground. The years painted over the cracks, hiding all the roads back, and every chance we let go by became another layer high. The stronger it became to see, the less there was of you and me. We built a wall instead, out of sleepless nights and words unsaid. Every promise left alone turned another stone to stone. I thought love would find a way through, but even light got lost from view. And all that's standing in the end is the wall we built instead. Maybe walls don't rise from hate, maybe they grow while people wait. A little hurt, a little pride, enough to keep the truth outside. I wish I'd knocked before it grew, before it blocked the sight of you, before the distance learned to stay and stole the paths we used to take. We built a wall instead and watch the garden underneath it die. No grand collapse, no final fight, just shadows replacing light. Now I run my hands across the stone, feeling how we became alone. And every echo in my head says we built a wall instead. The mortars dry, the years are spent, and regret lives in every cement. Where love once stood and reached ahead, we built a wall instead. The porch light hums a tired glow, where summer used to breathe and grow. But something changed in all I see, like time forgot how to be free. The grass stands still, the air feels thin, like laughter that won't start again. And in the dark I softly ask where all the small joys drifted past. Even night feels out of tune without the buzz of early June. Where did the June bugs go? The ones that used to glow and show that even night could feel alive. In golden sparks we chase and dive. Now only silence answers slow, like it already doesn't know. And I am left beneath the glow, wondering where the June bugs go. The screen door creaks a hollow sound, like something missing all around. The trees don't shake the way they did, like every living thing is hid. I sit where time forgets to land, with dust between my empty hand. And every memory I try turns into something passing by. Even wind forgets its flight without those tiny sparks of light. Where did the June bug ground, but even wonder has to go. Like June bugs in a fading glow. Where did the June bugs go with their fragile, fleeting glow? The night feels heavier now without their light to show me how. And all the world feels soft and slow, like it forgot how to grow. And I am left to only know, where did the June bugs go? The porch light fades, the night runs thin, and something ends where it began. A quiet world I used to know. Where did the June bugs go? The branches scratch against the pane, writing messages in rain. The daylight leaves before I know, and hands the world back to the snow. The house exhales a tired sigh as evening gathers in the sky, and every room feels twice its size. When there's no one to share the night, the cold arrives without a sound and settles softly all around. I'm wintering alone again, counting storms against the wind. The fire burns but never warms the places grief has made its home. The season lingers in my bones, turning silence into stone, and every falling flake has shown what it means to winter alone. The kettle hums, the floorboards creak, the walls repeat what I don't speak. A photograph upon the shelf looks more alive than I myself. Outside the fields are buried deep under drifts of frozen sleep, and somewhere beneath all that white are things that never survive the night. Even the stars seem far away, like they forgot this place. I'm wintering alone again, watching frost crawl up the glass. The world is wrapped in quiet gray, and every hour seems built to last. The moon hangs over empty roads like a lantern no one holds, and every shadow that has grown knows I'm wintering alone. Maybe winter isn't cruel, maybe it just tells the truth, stripping branches to the core, showing what remains no more. I thought the spring would come too soon, but winter learned my favorite room. Now it sits beside me slow, with nowhere else it needs to go. I'm wintering alone tonight, under a sky devoid of light. The fire fades to amber dust, like memories lose wintering alone. The snow keeps falling, soft and deep. The world retreats into its sleep, and through the longest night I've known, I remain here, wintering alone. Yesterday your laughter lingered like sunlight in the hall. Now the house feels unfamiliar, like I never lived here at all. Your coffee cup is still half full, lipstick fading on the rim, and the silence after losing you feels too vast to stand within. I swear the air has changed its color since you walked out of my life. Everything once warm and human now feels distant, pale and tired. It's strange how one small moment can split existence into two. The world before goodbye and the endless after you. Yesterday was a lifetime ago, a fading country I can't return to, where your hand still reached for mine and the sky still felt blue. Now every hour drags like chains across the hollow of my chest, and I would trade forever for one more ordinary breath, because love turned into memory faster than I could know, and yesterday became a lifetime ago. Outside my window, neon drowning in the rain, while I sit beside the darkness, repeating your name again. Friends tell me I should keep moving like grief obeys a straight line, but heartbreak bends the laws of time and leaves the living behind. I found your jacket in the closet, still carrying traces of your skin, and for one unbearable second I thought you'd walk back in. But ghosts don't open doorways and memories don't breathe. They only visit quietly when the night refuses sleep. Yesterday was a lifetime ago. Now the past feels more alive than me. Every little thing reminds me of who we used to be. The record still skips softly on the songs we used to know, and every note sounds lonelier than it did a year ago, because time didn't heal anything, it only widened the distance slow. Since yesterday became a lifetime ago. Remain, or to accept how quickly love can fade away. Yesterday was a lifetime ago, but I still live inside its light, still reaching through the emptiness. Every single night, the moon hangs like a bruise above this tired and grieving town, and I keep carrying your absence like something sacred dragging me down. If tomorrow ever finds me, I doubt I'll recognize its face, because part of me stopped existing the moment yesterday was erased. Your coffee cup sits untouched, the rain taps soft against the glass, and somewhere deep inside my chest, yesterday still